Hello, hello, everyone. This is Dr. B from Steps to the Future, coming to you with another college and career conversations with Dr. B. This evening, you have me. No guest this evening, but I assure you that I have some information that hopefully will help some of the college bound families out there. I think it's so important that you have information that is useful to you and information that will help you make informed decisions. But before I begin anything, how many people are playing this word game Wordle? I am addicted to Wordle. So every morning when I wake up, I am like one of the first people out there trying to get online and seeing if I can guess that. So if you've ever played Wordle, let me know. And what about, so there's another one that's similar to Wordle that's called, okay, let me make sure I pronounce it right. That's called Quordle. So instead of one 5-word puzzle that you have 6 tries, you have 4 5-word puzzles and you have 9 tries. So again, this is a great way to help you get your brain in gear in the morning and to just get thinking about things. So if you're playing it and if you're as addicted to it as I am, I'm sorry. Okay, that's just how it goes. So this evening, I want to talk to you a bit about some things that I think of interest to families. I want to talk to you about community foundations and why students should be looking at their websites to help them pay for college. And every state probably has a community foundation. So I'm going to highlight a couple that are local and also one in my home state. I'm also going to talk about 2 summer opportunities. I mean, there are tons of summer opportunities. So I'm going to introduce or reintroduce you to a resource that has tons of summer opportunities. Some are free, some are paid. Again, there for you to look at. And then another summer opportunity that's here local for a student that may be interested in computer science. Then I'm just going to give you information about 2 webinars. One has already happened, but you can catch the replay on YouTube. And I really think that the panelists in this particular webinar give you some great information and is wonderful, wonderful info and will help you in your strategies. And then the second webinar that I'm going to talk about is one that actually will be taking place tomorrow evening, hosted by Appleruth. So stay tuned. Be back. And as always, I'm going to talk about a book. So stay tuned. I will be back in a second. So make sure you go grab your cup of coffee or tea. I've got my nice little water because my throat always gets dry. So I've got my nice little water in my IECA, my little IECA cup here. It is water. Nothing else but water in here. So go grab a cup of coffee, grab some tea, grab some water. And when you come back, let me know who's out there. And please make sure you share this out with people. Be back in a sec. 30 seconds to be exact. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Dr. B here from Steps to the Future. As always, let me know who's out here, who's joining us. Make sure you put your name in the comment section so I know who is out here listening to me, whether it's on the replay or whether it's live. So this evening, as I said, I want to start off by talking to you about a couple of opportunities for students to continue their scholarship search. Now, we know colleges cost a ridiculous amount of money in most cases, but there are opportunities for students to apply for scholarships. And I really encourage students to treat looking for scholarships just as they would a part-time job, or once, especially with seniors, once you have finished with your applications and some of your other schoolwork, to treat it as your part-time second job, because school is your full-time first job. So let me get my screen up here so I can share some information with you. And here we go. Let's see. We are sharing now, should be. Okay. So the first site that I want to share with you. So as I was saying, many states have what they call community foundations. Now, here in Cumberland County, we have the Cumberland Community Foundation. Unfortunately, their scholarship period just closed just recently. So let me introduce you to these two sites that are in North Carolina. So this is North Carolina specific, but as I said, every state has a community foundation, or most likely does. So you can just go in and Google your state's community foundation and find it. So here's one of the ones in North Carolina I wanted to introduce you to. It's the North Carolina Community Foundation. Now, this will have scholarship and grant opportunities statewide. So, one of the first things it says on here, and I really urge everyone as you're thinking about looking at any of these scholarships and any scholarships, make sure you read all the scholarship criteria to determine if you're eligible. Do not waste your time applying for scholarships that you're not even eligible for. That makes absolutely no sense, folks. So, what do I mean by eligible? Well, it may have some of these scholarships may be high school specific. They may be specific to a particular county. They may decide that you have to be attending a particular high school. So there are so many reasons why it's important to read the directions. You need to see if you have reached the. Ew, excuse me. I need to drink some of this water. Check to see if you meet the eligibility criteria. So let's look at some of the stuff that's here on the North Carolina Community Foundation site. So it's giving you information about what you need to do. It's telling you that they're available for the 2022-2023 academic year. Additional scholarships may come available, so you need to be checking this list. This is something you need to bookmark. Now, here's what you can do. You can search by, for this is for people in North Carolina, you can search by county. I just happen to highlight Durham County. So when I highlight Durham County, a list of local scholarships come up, and you can see the name of the scholarships. You can see where it gives you additional details. So if I were to click on this statewide scholarship, the Cody Blue Pilkington Scholarship Fund, it says North Carolina residents who are entering their freshman or sophomore year of study. So again, they not only are these for high school students, but some of these are for students who are already in college. So that's why it's so important to read the eligibility criteria. And then when you click on it, it'll give you additional details about what you need to do in order to apply for this particular scholarship. So let's see, what else do we have here in Durham County? Let's see. So as I said, you see some of these are high school specific. So you need to check that. So if that was not your high school, then you don't apply to that particular scholarship. So here's one, the Joyce Price Johnson Samaritan Fund. It's for young people who are exiting foster care or living in poverty in North Carolina who wish to continue their education. It says primary consideration will be given to young people from Wayne County or secondarily from counties which are contiguous to Wayne County. So what does contiguous mean? That means they're adjacent. That means they share borders. So that's my old geography teacher stuff coming out. Once a teacher, always a teacher. Another one right below that is the North Carolina Alpha Delta Kappa Student Achievement Scholarship. So this is one where they're looking at a GPA, and they're also looking at an SAT or ACT scores. So again, it says very clearly, do you see how it has it there in all, let me see if I can make my screen larger. You can see where it has it here in all capital letters. This scholarship is designed for students with grades and scores falling within these ranges only. So if you don't fall within these ranges as listed on here, this means you are not eligible for this scholarship. So pay attention. So that's one site, the North Carolina Community Foundation. And I will make sure that all of these are in there. Actually, I probably should have. Let me see if I can. Let me see. I'm just going to get this done real quick and put the URL in here so that you all have it. Okay, so it's the North Carolina Community Foundation.org. You can just Google North Carolina Community Foundation, and then you will see the tab for scholarships, and just use that. Okay. So the next one, this is another foundation that is local to North Carolina. So again, those of you that live in other states, remember your states all probably have a community foundation, and I'll show you one from my home state. So for those of you who may be looking on from Rhode Island, I will show you that, but some of you probably already know about it. So another one that's local to North Carolina, the Triangle Community Foundation. Again, you can create a scholarship portal. They tell you that they administer many scholarship and award funds that come from individual donors and organizations. And as you can see here, they have the list of scholarships, the eligibility criteria, and then a column for the possible amount that you could receive for this scholarship. Now, if you're not a senior and this scholarship doesn't apply to you, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't still know what's available to you in the future. So, for underclassmen students that are in ninth grade, 10th grade, or 11th grade, you should know that these resources are available to you. And there's no harm in looking at the sites now and doing some research now and possibly creating a spreadsheet so that you know what you have to look at um, when it's time for you to apply to college, especially juniors. So let's look at this one. Again, there's a scholarship portal, and you can go through here, and it just has all kinds of information. As I said, some of these are for current high school students, and some are for current college students. So again, make sure you read it, pay attention. There's so many here. So this one, the Juanita McNeil West End Scholarship, is for high school seniors and who live in Durham County with demonstrated financial need. So when it says demonstrated financial need, that means most likely you're going to have to submit your student aid report or your SAR so that they can see what your estimated family contribution is, because that's the number that determines financial need, demonstrated financial need. So again, that's another site for you. This one is the Triangle. And as I said, I'll put these in the show notes, and I'll try to do it right afterwards. This is the Triangle Community Foundation. Here's the name right here. You can always Google it and find out that information. Now, for those of you that live in my home state, here's our local one. Well, I shouldn't say ours, but our local one that we used a lot back in the days when I was a school counselor in Rhode Island. This is through the Rhode Island Foundation. And again, it's rifoundation.org. And again, you can look at all of the scholarships that are available to students of all ages that reside in the state of Rhode Island. So again, you can use by a keyword. If you wanted to try by a major, you could try that, or you could just go through and see all the different scholarships that are available to people. So just check these out. So if you are living in the state of Rhode Island, you need to be checking out this particular site. So this is the Rhode Island Foundation. And as I said, just about every state has a community foundation that does provide scholarships. So it's important for you to be looking at your state site, paying attention to the deadlines, paying attention to the eligibility criteria, and then making sure that you do all the steps that are required for you to apply to that particular scholarship. You know, unless you can just pull money out of your pocket without a problem, this might be something that would behoove you to take some time to do. So, the next thing I want to talk about with you, and every now and then, so most times when you see me, I have a guest, and that I love to have a guest on. Um, but sometimes it's you get just me, and I am a teacher at heart. I miss teaching sometimes. I miss teaching. I miss teaching all the time. I miss being in a classroom. So this is my way. This is my way of virtually teaching to make sure that people have information that they can use, because it's important as you're making decisions at something so crucial as your post-secondary education. And this is whether you're going to a 4-year school, a 2-year school, a technical college, whether you're going to a certificate program, whether you are going into the military, whether you're going into an apprentice program, or whether you're going to work. There's just some information that you need to know. If you're going to work, if you're going into employment straight out of high school, you may be thinking, okay, but in the future, I plan to do this. So that's something. So knowing where the resources are and how to find those resources certainly can't hurt you at this point. So the next thing I want to move on to. So as we go through this year, and we're already at the end of March, I really want students to start thinking about how are you going to use your time during the summer. So once your school ends for the year, what are your plans? What are you going to do? I know I have plans for the summer. So even though I'm a working person and have a business and what have you, I have specific things I'm going to do in the summer. So one of the things I plan to do this summer is to study for another certification. I am planning to do the application and take the assessment, everything to become a certified educational planner. It's something that I've thought about for a number of years, and at one point I said, I really don't want to study anymore. I don't want to go back to school technically and what have you. But that's going to be part of my summer plans. So I'm doing that. I'm also planning on visiting family. I'm also planning on visiting more colleges. Now that the world is starting to open back up, I'm going to start visiting more colleges safely. I get to go visit some schools next week, but I'll tell you about that a little later. So, what are you going to do for your summer? If you're going to work, great. If you're going to a program, great. But what I don't want students to do is to just say, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit around the house. Think about what it is you're going to do. If you're home like me, like during the summer when I was in high school, early high school, my job was to take care of my younger siblings. So I couldn't work. I couldn't do certain things until I got a little bit older, and then I had a summer job. Um, so I always worked. I always worked. I didn't go to. I wasn't fortunate enough to go to, academic programs or programs where I learned more or traveled or what have you. So think about it. What is it that you're going to do this summer? It's really important that you continue your learning in any way that you can. So people say, okay, so if you're going to a job, what do you learn on a job? Think about all the skills that are learned on a job. You're on a job, you're learning how to follow directions. You're learning how to work with teams. You're learning time management because you have to be at work on time. And you sometimes in some different occupations or jobs, you have to be able to produce a product or a service in a certain amount of time. Like you can't be working at McDonald's and making somebody stand there for 45 minutes for your fries. So you need to know what you're doing while you're working there. Um, you're also learning, in a job, you're learning how to manage your money. You're learning different skills. You're learning problem solving because some jobs, you may have to figure out how to do something and somebody may not be standing right by there or right near you to help you learn how to do it. So again, think about what it is you're going to do for the summer. So if you don't have a job for the summer, what is it that you're going to be doing? And I'm going to ask students that whatever you're doing this summer, get a little journal, get a little notebook or something that's just your summer journal, and just every day write down a few lines at the end of the day about what you did that day. It doesn't have to be a dissertation, it doesn't have to be a major essay, but get a little journal and just start dating it and keep track of what you did that day, or what did you learn that day, or what three things did I learn new today, or what three things concerned me today. So get in the habit of doing that. So let me go back to sharing my screen here, and I will go on to our next thing. So one of the organizations that I'd like to share with you this evening is called Teen Life. And Teen Life is known for having a section on their website around summer programs. So again, this is free. Anybody can go online and look at the site. They can also download some of their summer guides if they choose to do so. But again, you go to you go to Teen Life and you go to the section on summer programs for teens. And as you can see here, you have all these categories that you can use to filter down into what you're looking for. So here where it says category, you can look at academic programs, and then you can really get specific and look at different areas. Do you want a program about career exploration? Do you want a program that's language based, STEM, special needs, traditional camp, travel and cultural immersion? So if you choose to, you can click on one of these, and then that will filter through those preferences for you. So the only thing that I clicked on so far, and this is just as a sample, as I said, you go in and you do what you need to do. I just looked at the section on, what did I look at? I think I looked at location. So I chose the United States because there actually is a section here where it asks you about destination. So if you click on destination, I picked United States. And then if you want to even search further within the United States, you can go back up to the top and you can search here. So say I'm in North Carolina right now, so I'm going to put North Carolina. So now it's going to give me programs that are in North Carolina, or it should. Oh, it's that slow circle of death that we get sometimes. So again, it came up with 77 programs that are in North Carolina, and it will give you information. It gives you the title. You can go onto their website, you request info, you can apply now. So again, there are 77 programs in North Carolina. Now, some of the programs are free, some you have to pay for. So again, that's a consideration when you're looking at these. And even some of the ones that may have a fee may have a financial aid component to it. So that's why it's so important for you to look at all of the information about a summer program before you count yourself out, if that is something that you are looking for. So this is just like one site, and probably once a month or maybe twice a month, all depends. I will be bringing you more resources, and these same resources you can find linked either on my website or highlighted on my Facebook page. And if it's on my Facebook page, when you go to my Facebook page, you can do hashtag summer opportunities, and it will take you to all of the posts that I have made about summer opportunities. So again, here, this is Teen Life, great place to look for information. And this is countrywide. This is actually international. So you can find out what programs are available by looking here on Teen Life. Now, here's one I want to talk about that actually one of our colleagues in North Carolina sent to our regional group. And this is specific to North Carolina. So North Carolina State University has a program that is a computer science high school internship program. So the application period, as you can see on the screen, is now open. The deadline is Thursday, May 5th. So make sure you pay attention to deadlines. And it does tell you that it's a part time, unpaid, in person or virtual internship. So, if you know someone that's interested in computer science, and after they read through the description and the responsibilities, and what else do we have listed here? Preferred experience and participant qualities, skills required, benefits to the student, how to apply, and you have to write a personal statement. Okay. You go ahead and if this is something that is of interest to you and you feel like you meet the criteria and your schedule allows for it during the summer, and it tells you that it's the time frame is June 13th to July 29th, except the week of 4th of July, go ahead and apply. And again, this is for people living in North Carolina. So many colleges across the United States hold summer programs on their college campuses. Some of the programs are hosted by the college itself. Many programs are hosted by companies or organizations that rent space on that campus. Now, sometimes people will say to me, "Okay, so if I do one of these summer programs at this college, does that help me if I decide to apply to that college? Like, is that an in? Is that like a benefit? Is that like, oh, yeah, look at this person. We're going to move them up the list." No, it does not. Generally, it does not. Probably 99% of the time, it does not. But if this is something that you're interested in, and it's something that is in a field that you're interested in, or in a field that you just want to learn more about, and if it's more for your own learning, then go right ahead and do it. I really advise students not to go into summer programs thinking that it's going to give them an edge in the application process. Go into these summer programs with an open mind about what you are going to learn. That's what's important about these summer programs. How are you using your summertime? And like I said, it may be something like one of these internship programs, it may be one of the other summer programs. It may be something around your neighborhood. Maybe you have a lawn care service and that's what you're doing and you're out making money. Maybe you are like I was when I was in high school, where you're responsible for your younger siblings and you're at home and you have to work with them, or take care of them until your parent comes home from work. So again, think about how you're going to use your summer, and hopefully, as I suggested, you'll have a little journal that you'll just date every day and just write down something about what you learned. Three, I like the number three. You know, that's a nice number. So, write down, excuse me, write down three things that you learned. Um, and it could be anything. This will help you when you do get to that point and you're writing, maybe not so much maybe the personal statement. I need to take a drink because my throat is just acting up today. Okay. But when you get to writing those supplemental essays, where they may ask you about summer activities, or they may ask you about a time when you showed leadership, or a time, or tell us about a time when you had to make a tough decision. There's so many variations on supplemental essays. You'll have some information there, and some of the things that you write about, maybe at the time that they're happening, you may think, oh, what's a big deal about this? But some of these supplemental essays, they're really looking for everyday activities. What is it about you? What happened to you? What's the situation that's unique to you? You may have coworkers, or you may have people that are also at a summer program with you. However, if you're all experiencing it differently. Think about, if you have siblings, um, you're all living in the same house, but you're all experiencing that house very differently. When I talk to my sister and my brother, um, we all grew up in the same household, but we all had very different experiences. And that's the same thing that's going to happen when you're on the job, when you're in a college class, when you're in your high school class, when you're on an outing. Everybody has their own unique experience. So again, think about, what are you going to do for the summer? So, the next thing I want to talk to you about. So, I think it's so important for folks out there that are thinking about college and doing college research to have information from folks who are credible and who will give you good information. And like I said, there is so much out there now. With us having a virtual world, it is so difficult sometimes to figure out what do I need to be looking at. I mean, there are webinars like every single day. And sometimes you just get overwhelmed. So, one of the things I would like to do is just to say, okay, here's something I suggest for you. Um, just to give you an idea so you're not making yourself crazy trying to do it. And again, anyone out there that's listening to this now or on the replay later on, if you have any comments, please throw your comments in the chat box because I'd love to be, having a back and forth conversation with you. But if not, and you think of something later, please make sure you put it in the comments section. So we're going to go back to a webinar. So like I said, I have a couple of webinars that I think would be absolutely beneficial to students to listen to. So let me share my screen with those. Okay, so this is one that already took place. This one was on stream live on March 23rd. And this is a webinar that was hosted by Ethan Sawyer, who's also known as the College Essay Guy. And the name of the webinar is What College Admissions Looks Like in 2022. And on the panel, they have Deanna Dixon, who is the Dean of Admission at Smith College. For those that don't know, Smith College is a women's college in Massachusetts. He also has Rick Clark. Well, his title is more than the director of admission now, but he's at Georgia Tech. And Gigi McGuire, who is the assistant director of partnerships and initiatives at Cal State Northridge. This is a really informative and funny. They're funny together. Webinar. Ugh, lost my words there for a minute. But again, I strongly suggest that when you have a chance that you go and watch it. Let me put this on the screen so that you will have this information. And as I said, I will try to make sure I get these on my show notes as soon as possible. So let's see. Okay, so this is the URL for this particular one. You can see it here, or you can just, go actually to the College Essay Guy's YouTube channel. I would definitely suggest you do that. Go to his YouTube channel. Let me pull this up here a little bit so I can get my head out of the way. So College Essay Guy, you can go to his YouTube channel and you can find this one, What College Admissions Looks Like in 2022. Okay, so that's another one. So the next one I want to share with you is actually one that is going to happen tomorrow evening. And my cat has decided to join me. Okay, this is one I'm really looking forward to. This one is hosted by Appleroth, and it's called Ask the Experts, Advice from Top College Admission Directors. And you know what? There's that Rick Clark guy again. So we have Carolee Concher, who is from the George Washington University, Rick Clark from Georgia Institute of Technology, Georgia Tech, or Sean Felton. Let me get this off the screen. Or Sean Felton, excuse me, from Cornell University. And this is tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So again, this one hasn't happened yet. So you can go to appleroth.com and you will see that they have many, many webinars that are free to anyone that would like to watch them. And you just go on and you register and they'll reserve your spot. And here are some of the topics. They're going to talk about what does test optional really mean. And for those of us that live here in North Carolina, we had our UNC system had been test optional, but starting with the class of 2023, next year's juniors, our public universities will no longer be test optional. They will require a test. So if you live in the state of North Carolina and you're planning on applying to one of the 16 or 17 UNC system schools, please know that you need to take the SAT or the ACT. So then they're going to talk about this question up here: how do honors, AP, IB, and dual enrollment classes factor into the process? Parents always ask this, students always ask this. So again, I would strongly suggest that you register for this, tune in tomorrow, and get the answers to these questions. There's again, how should students use their time outside of school? So under extracurriculars. So I just talked a little bit about your summer. They will certainly go into this even more. So definitely pay attention to this. And one of the things that's nice, you can register, and usually if something happens and you're not able to watch it live because something comes up, they've been really generous about sending a link to the recording. So again, this is something that I think, you would really enjoy. College visits, is it better to visit in person or remotely? I had the opportunity this past week actually to visit two colleges. So I went and did a campus tour at UNC Pembroke on Thursday, and then on Saturday I attended the open house at Fayetteville State University, which was fantastic. So even though I don't live that far from either one of these colleges and have been on the campuses, it's so nice to get on the campus and do the tour and hear what the tour guide has to say, and just to see certain aspects of the school. I mean, as much as I've been on Fayetteville State's campus, I had never been in a dorm. So it was nice to be able to go in a dorm and see what that looked like, and see the setup, and to hear more information about the different residence halls. So again, if you have the opportunity, check in to this webinar. They'll also talk about college essays. So again, so here are our panelists, and you'll be able to get some information. So again, I strongly suggest that if you can, you attend the webinar tomorrow. And when you have an opportunity, you watch the one that's already happened. As I said, I'll put those links for you in there. As we go along now, when they talked about, visiting in person and visiting remotely. So one of the things that is coming up, and this is for local, again, this is local to North Carolina, but then again, check your state schools, check the schools in the state that you live in to find out when they are holding open houses. And when you have the opportunity to go to an open house, I strongly suggest that you go to open house. So I hope to get to this one on Saturday. So UNC Pembroke, which is one of the schools in the UNC system, is having their open house, their spring open house this Saturday, from starting at check-in starts at 9 a.m. and it's till around 2 or something like that. I strongly suggest that if you're interested, and even if you're not interested specifically in UNC Pembroke, because maybe you just don't know enough about it, I think it's so important to take these opportunities to visit the colleges in your neighborhood, whether you're interested in attending that school or not. Get on a college campus, see what colleges have to offer in general, get a feel for the size of the campus. When you're on the campus, you get a better idea of whether you want to be in a rural area or a suburban area or an urban area, whether you want to be in a place where there are 4 seasons, so you're really going to be prepared for the cold and the snow and what have you, or if you want to be in a warm climate. Do you want to be in a place where there are under 2,000 students, or do you want to be in a place where there's 50,000 students? So again, these are all the things that by going on college campuses, you will learn so much about the campus itself that you won't be able to get from a brochure or a website. I know I was really glad when I went to UNC Pembroke. I hadn't been on that campus in a number of years, and I knew they had a new business building, and I wanted to see the new business building, and I knew they had some new programs. So I said, okay, I'm going to go on a tour. And because I wasn't sure if I was going to make it to the open house, but I think I'm going to try to go to the open house too, because it'll have some things that I didn't get to see or do while I was there touring. Um, and the tour guide I had, Blanca, she was a student majoring in chemistry, and her goal is to go into pharmaceuticals. She was fantastic. Oh my God, that young lady was wonderful. So again, when you have the chance to go to an open house, go to an open house. So again, this one's coming up on Saturday. And with that being said, that's about all I have for you today as far as what I want you to think about. When it's just me, I don't want to just sit here and go on and on and on. Oh, and so when I went to UNC Pembroke, this was one of my nice things that was in my little goodie bag. So UNC Pembroke, their mascot are the Braves. For those of you who don't know, UNC Pembroke got its founding, its origins as an institution um, to help members of the Lumbee Nation. So that's why they are the Braves. But you'll learn all of that either by going on their website, going to their open house, or looking at some of their virtual offerings. So just check it out. Just start learning. Now, I always like to talk about a book. And I am so proud to talk about this book because this book was written by someone that I know that used to live here in Fayetteville. And it's so important because, we talk about financial literacy and the importance of students of all ages understanding information, understanding finances. We see people getting in debt, using credit cards unwisely, racking up student loan debt, and what have you. So, this is a book that was a credit guide written for kids. And here's a copy of it. It's called Credit What? And it's a credit guide for kids. And the author is, so it's produced by New Era Enterprise, LLC. And the owner of New Era Enterprise is Mrs. Shahara Pearson. And this is Shahara on the cover. Okay, on the back, actually. And this is a book that she wrote because she's really concerned about the types of the misinformation or the lack of information that young people have when it comes to credit. So here's what it says in the front. She says, I wrote Credit What? A credit guide for kids to help encourage conversations with children ages 6 to 8 about managing money and understanding why credit is so important. Our education system does not teach these fundamentals, so the conversations we have at home are even more vital for their adult success. Finances can be hard to explain to your children, but we hope that this book helps guide the conversation in a way that makes sense, and it's the CENTS sense. Teaching children the importance of credit is the key to furthering financial literacy in our communities. So now let's go meet TJ, the credit expert. So again, here's the book, Credit What? A credit guide for kids. I did buy mine on Amazon, and you are able also to get it in a Kindle version. So again, this is a great book, I think, for young folks. It's about, let me see, it's developmentally appropriate. It has cute little, word scrambles in it that are around finances. So she made it fun. Let's see what else is in here. And this is it's really kind of cute. Credit word search is in here, along with a budgeting worksheet. There's some great stuff in here. This will make a great beginning gift again for someone 6 to 8 years old, just to start the conversation. And then as they get older, you just find more developmentally appropriate material for them to ensure that they are making informed decisions around their finances. And this is a great way to start. So again, this is Dr. B from Steps to the Future. But before I go, I do want to encourage people. I have openings in my practice for students grades 9 and up. So if you are interested in college and career counseling services for your high school student, please reach out to me, and we can set up an appointment. We can set up some time in order to do that. You can go on to my website, stepstothefuture.com, And there, under appointments, there is a calendar link where you can sign up for a complimentary appointment. And we will see whether or not I can help you and if we're a good fit for each other. So I definitely would look forward to, having people reach out. Also, monthly newsletter. If you want to subscribe to a monthly newsletter that will give you college news, and we'll have some of the scholarship information in it and other information that would be pertinent to you as a person who is furthering their education, here's the URL. I would love to hear from people. And here's the other thing. As I do these videos, these all then get hosted onto my YouTube channel. And I'm in the process of, working with someone to create some short videos that aren't necessarily live videos. They're more videos where I might be working on a topic, or I'm actually thinking about highlighting children's books. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get my numbers up so that, the more numbers you have, the more things that you can do with your channel. So this is my YouTube channel. This is the short URL for it. So I would really appreciate it if you share this with people and you subscribe to the channel. And if you're going to leave comments, leave nice comments. Okay. Be kind. Again, this is Dr. B from Steps to the Future. I thank you so much for taking time out of your evening, whether you watch, the whole time or bits and pieces of it or what have you. Thank you so much for joining in. And as always, my goal is to help families eliminate random acts of college planning. Take care, everyone, and have a fabulous week. Be good.